I'll obviously start with just the quarterback situation. So, as everyone's probably heard by now, we've named Jake Haener the starting quarterback for this game. Feel like after going through the first couple days of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, and against this particular team and this particular game plan, we feel like Jake gives us the best chance to win. Certainly no indictment at all against Spencer. I think Spencer's doing a great job. I think Spencer has a great, bright future ahead of him. As in regards to Derek, he's doing really well with the concussion protocol. Looks like everything's going to be above board there, all good. We are still going to determine whether or not he'll be the backup for the game or potentially the emergency third, so we're not ruling Derek out for this game at the moment. We'll kind of see how his hand is progressing, and it is improving, and so we'll let that kind of play out the rest of the week. So we have a couple options there. Because he's on the roster, we can either make him still the backup quarterback, have him active for the game, or make him the emergency third. And so those options are still on the table. If he's functional and able to do that, that's a possibility. So I'm excited for Jake, and here we go.
What were some of the determining factors for Jake? I mean, they were splitting reps during the game, during the week, and so what were some of the determining factors for him?
Honestly, without getting too deep into it, we just felt like Jake had a really good couple of days, and he gave us the best chance for this particular game.
So Darren, just to be clear on Derek, even if he's active, Jake would be the starter?
Jake's going to start the game, yes.
What do you mean all good with Derek? Like past the concussion protocol? Or
yeah,
he
well,
would have to practice to do that, wouldn't he?
He has to, in order to have the final step, he's got to go through a quote-unquote, don't quote me on this actually, unquote, yeah, is a non-contact practice. So what that entails, that just entails some movement stuff and things like that. So,
but he's passed other stages.
He's up, as far as I know, he's passed every step of the way so far.
So he's at the final step.
The final step would have to be a non-contact movement scenario.
Would your guys' walkthrough qualify as that tomorrow?
Usually, as far as I know, in that situation, like Caesar was in that situation last week, he's got to go through a non-contact practice. Again, it's more movement, moving around, getting your heart rate up and those kinds of things, and making sure there's nothing. But right now he's asymptomatic.
Yeah.
So
we've heard you guys talk about Jake's moxie from time to time. How do his teammates respond to him that you've seen?
Yeah, I think the best part about Jake is he prepares. And every week he's been here, and every day he's been here, he's prepared as if he was going to be the starter. And so when you watch one of our practices, if you didn't know any better, if you came to the first Saints practice of your life and watched him operate, he operates like a guy that's been there before. And so that's a credit to his preparation. It's a credit to how he kind of handles every day, his mindset. And so I think that's kind of the moxie. You don't feel any different in practice at all whatsoever with him in there. I thought he did a really good job these last 3 days of operating just in and out of the huddle, the tempo, all those kinds of good things. And so hopefully we bring that to the field on Sunday.
I was asking you this the other day, but you were still playing coy on your decision.
Me?
Did you?
Coy.
When you came in, you evaluated tons of things. You changed the locker room things. I mean, did you specifically evaluate the quarterback position and make a conscious choice that Jake Haener was? You wanted him to remain the number 2, and you saw some reason for him to be ahead of Spencer at that time?
It's really been an ongoing process.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I wasn't the interim head coach, I monitored the quarterback. I watch practice every day, just like every other coach. And I as a special teams coach, you get a different view of everything. You have more of a team-wide view, and so I paid attention to the OTAs, training camp, the practices, and so I didn't have it predetermined. Jake Haener is going to be the next guy because I thought Spencer had a really good training camp, and I thought he did some really good things in the 3 games that he started. So I tried to have an open mind this week as we went into this thing. First thing was to make sure it's going to be not Derek as the starter, and then determine which guy gives us the best chance. But I really do believe, and I wasn't trying to be coy, I really believe that both guys in their own right could lead this team just like Spencer did in the last 3 games. But there's nothing that Jake, like I said, there's nothing that Spencer didn't do. He didn't do anything wrong. I just felt like for this game, Jake gives us the best chance.
How has Derek's hand progressed?
It's improving every day.
Alvin should be fine.
Alvin full practice today. Yesterday was more, I know I told you guys on Wednesday I thought he'd be back on Thursday. That was really more my decision, to be honest with you. I thought it was a good idea not to have him go out there. He got pretty sick, but he's much better now. It looks like he's recovering just about 100%. So he was full practice today. He'll have no game designation. He'll be up and ready to roll. Really, just yesterday was more precautionary, just coming off of a sick day and making sure we're just being safe with it.
It's random, but do you have any thoughts on having saving the onside kick? Or, they talk about that at the league meetings this week.
It's come up for the last, I'm on that special teams committee, and it's come up the last 5 years. Listen, I think there's different feelings about the onside kick. I think if you could ever have a predictor out there, you kind of want it maybe right around 10%. And if you're hovering around 10%, you probably, I'm not really in favor as a special teams guy of having a format that allows for a higher percentage, because I think you kind of water down what a team just did for 4 quarters. I think the current situation is good. I think one of the things we could consider, there's things you can consider, and we've brought that up to the league about changing maybe the rules for the kickoff teams alignments, or eliminating players out of the setup zone. Right now you're allowed to have a maximum of 9. So for example, maybe have 8, or maybe for example, getting a little more creative with the kickoff formations, things like that. But other than that, I'm a fan of the way it is now. I'm not a fan whatsoever of the 4th and 15. And here's the biggest reason. The biggest reason that people that are against the 4th and 15 is there's no possibility on an onside kick that a foul, a penalty by the return team, could give the kickoff team the ball. On a 4th and 15, there's multiple fouls, which would extend the drive and give the other team a first down. So who wants to lose a game on an errant hands to the face penalty, or an illegal contact, or defensive holding, or a late hit on the quarterback? All those things are automatic first downs. And so I know in theory the 4th and 15, but because of the penalty aspect and because you put your marquee player at risk, the quarterback now becomes a player safety issue also on the 4th and 15, because now you can't throw the ball away, you're not going to slide before the stick, you're not going to run out of bounds, all those things. So it becomes a player safety issue also for the quarterback. So those are the 2 biggest reasons why I would be, and a lot of coaches would be, against the 4th and 15. So I think we continue to modify the current rule and maybe get a little bit higher tick. I think right now we're 3 for 41 on the year going into this week, which is 7% or something like that. But I think we want to be maybe 10 to 12% would be great. But you never ever can predict that. I know that was a long answer. You think I've thought about it.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
I think you guys have attempted 3 fake punts in the last 5 games, if I'm not mistaken. Even just the act of going for those, does that maybe plant a seed? If you were the opposing special teams coordinator, you see the frequency of that and have to then worry about it.
Yeah.
Change some things up.
Yeah. Listen, I'll use for example, I'll use the Carolina Panthers. Have Johnny Hecker, who's thrown 25 passes in his career, and
4 against you all.
Yeah, it seems like he always throws one against the Saints, right? So when you play a team like that there's the possibility of a fake, you're going to see some different, And I think I told you guys when we had faked that punt against Matt Hayball's punt against Carolina, that's something we had rep for a while. The one we ran the other day, we had rep for a while. It's just sometimes a situation just doesn't present itself. The game, you're really just going to make that call based on how the game's going, the down and distance, the opponent, all those things. And so I know we came up a half yard short the other day. We kind of lost a couple blocks late. But that being said, we're always going to have some stuff up for every game, and whether or not the situation arises. So, but it's just having an aggressive mentality. Sometimes you're better off leaving your offense out there and going for a 4th and medium or a 4th and short. Sometimes if you think you're going to get a certain look, you may be better off running a fake punt. So just all those management decisions kind of come into it. Everybody good? We got out of the room today. We got into the Brave and the Elements. So
Yeah.
I tried to tell them to cool
We
the
didn't
room
need
down.
to do that. Well, we did need to do that before sitting in the Superdome press box.
All right, appreciate you guys. Thanks, man.